It's the time-sharing stand.
To where, sorry?
The time-sharing stand,
I
sir.
heard the stand, I couldn't quite catch the word before.
Time-sharing.
Time sharing. Got me there. Perhaps you could explain what that is?
Of course I can. And your name, sir?
I'm Mr. Annoying, but you can call me Anne.
Mr. Annoying. Let me explain. Let's pretend that you are a large customer and you need a security officer 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. That's fine, that's not a problem, but that's going to cost you about £100,000 a year. Now let's imagine your colleagues here are small customers. They also need a security officer. They also need somebody that is going to check their windows, make sure their doors are locked, make sure somebody is close enough to respond to their alarms. But they can't afford £100,000 a year. They can only maybe afford £600 a month. So what they do is they get together and they pay for a share of my time. And that's where time sharing comes from.
See, the penny's dropped. Time sharing, fantastic. I'm flattered, Andy, that you think I've got, what was it, £100,000 a year to spend? I much prefer the other figure, the £600 a month. Maybe you could explain how I get some of that. What can you give me for £600 a month?
Let me show you. Let me walk you through time sharing. Time sharing is all about prevention and cure. So if we start with the prevention, this is our mobile patrol. So we will come and have a meeting with you, sir, in your office, and we will talk about your local risks. What are the local risks in your area? And depending upon those local risks, we would suggest either 1 patrol, 2 or 3 patrols a night. On top of that, we would also discuss where are the strategic points inside your building and outside your building. And wherever you believe that we should patrol, then we would put one of these barcodes to make sure that our officer actually would patrol in those points. We'd also put a track vault right next to your door so that any one of our security officers can actually attend and take the keys out of your track vault and be able to do the mobile patrol or attend your alarms.
It all sounds wonderful, Andy, but I think at the moment I've got 3 different security companies. The last thing I need is another one, so thanks, but no thanks.
Okay, well, before you go, Mr. Annoying, let me just say that we can actually offer you a one-stop shop. We were talking about prevention and cure, and part of that is our alarm receiving centre. And what our alarm receiving centre can do for you is monitor your alarms. So whether it be an intruder alarm or a fire alarm or a capital equipment alarm, they will monitor it, and because we're monitoring it, we can dispatch the nearest vehicle back to your premise. Any vehicle can go because the keys are actually inside there.
Again, it all sounds wonderful. Any vehicle can go. How many vehicles have you got? 1, 2, 3, 400?
Well, let's have a look. Actually, we have a network of 20 branches throughout the whole of the UK, and we have 125 vehicles, so there is always going to be a vehicle that's close to you.
I've seen this all before, Andy. I know what those silver balls represent. They're not your timeshare people. They will all be run by your static branch managers, won't they? This has happened to me before. When my alarm's activated, I can't get the response I need because your vehicles are dropping off static officers to site. That's what always happens.
I think we all recognise, I think the audience recognises that this is a problem for the industry. But Securitas has actually come up with some innovation, and that innovation is that timeshare is a separate division. And so we have 20 dedicated branch managers who are targeted and focused only on timeshare, and so that isn't a problem with our company.
Okay, Andy, I'll give you that one. It's a step in the right direction, but it's still just a small step. Do you know what my biggest problem is with mobile patrols?
Tell me.
Should I tell you what my biggest problem is?
No, tell me.
I'll tell you.
Okay.
When I have my static officer there in the evening, okay, I see him there, I say good evening, I know he's there. I come back in the morning, good morning, I know he's there. Okay? Mobile patrol officers, I go home at night, I've got no way of knowing what's happened throughout the night at all.
I think what you're saying, sir, is how do we measure the service? Or put it another way, are you getting what you pay for? And it's really important for us, because we operate at night, that you actually do get what you're paying for. And so therefore we've got 3 electronic audit trails that can actually prove to you what we do. And the first audit trail is the track vault. And if you remember, your keys are inside this track vault, so anybody can actually come to your premises. Every time it's opened with one of these keys, every time it's closed, we can actually then generate a report for you telling you what time it was opened, what time it was closed, and the name of the security officer that actually opened or closed it.
Well, isn't that fantastic, Andy? So you can tell me the name of the officer who's opened it, you can tell me how long they've opened it for, you can tell me when they've closed it. Can you tell me why it took 6 hours to get there? You said you can get the closest vehicle to site. You've got no way of knowing where the closest vehicle is, have you?
Well, actually, sir, we do. Each one of our vehicles has got satellite tracking, and if you remember I mentioned the alarm receiving centre earlier, they can see these 125 vehicles in the UK, and that's how they can dispatch the nearest one to your office here. But not only that, they can produce a report for you that tells you how long the vehicle sits outside the building.
How long the vehicle sits outside the building? How long? Should I tell you how long the vehicle sits outside the building? Not long enough. That's how long. And should I tell you why?
Why?
I've seen him.
Have you seen
I've seen him.
Okay.
He'll turn up, he'll have his pizza next to him on the front seat, nice and warm. He'll turn up to do his patrol. In he'll go for his patrol, back out into the car, pizza's still warm. No way of knowing what he's done inside, if anything.
Okay, remember we had 3 electronic audit trails? Well, the third one is each one of our drivers is issued with this BlackBerry that has a laser reading unit on it. And do you remember the barcodes that we put strategically around your building? Well, when the driver gets out of his vehicle, he swipes all of these barcodes as he goes around the outside of your building and the inside of the building. And when he gets back into his vehicle, he swipes the last barcode that is actually on his dashboard. And the moment he swipes that, an automatic email is sent straight to you, any time of the day, any time of the night. And that email, and Peter will be demonstrating this later to you, this email will show you exactly what time the driver was at each one of those barcode points within your building. I think we can do business.
Do you? I think I need to think about it, actually.
While you think about it, why don't we summarise? I think we started by saying that timeshare was a concept about prevention and cure.
Yes, and we said that possibly I could replace my static officer with random patrols, which might be a more effective deterrent because people never know when they're going to turn up.
Didn't we then talk about a one-stop shop? You wanted a one-stop shop, I think.
I remember that because you said you could be my one-stop shop. You could deal with all my security needs and you'd give me one invoice.
And then we like the idea of flexibility.
I like that because I'm probably opening some more branches this year and I need that flexibility. I need different solutions there.
And innovation was important?
Yes, I'm certainly coming around to your way of thinking here, Andy.
And we started with this point about value for money.
Yes, we did. I'm trying to remember the figure. £600 a month. Did we agree, Andy? As opposed to £100,000 a year. I like that.
Okay, good. And finally, there was an element of trust or quality.
What it is, I guess, if there's such a huge saving, I'm thinking, where's the catch? You know, that something's got to give. But if something does give here, because of the audit trails that we have, you can't let it give, can you?
No. So can we do business?
I love the innovation, Andy. I've got the audit trails as proof, but yes, I want to save the money.
Let's do business.